5 champion Bryce Shoemaker is going to take the victory 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's going to get through it all and score his first career win. Saturday Night Racing League and throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we've built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
Racing is...
The Chapman Cup Series is making another right-hand turn, and this week for race number 22, we're up in New York with the streak continuing for Jeremy Burns. Now 10 races have been won. It's been August 23rd of 2023 since his last loss at a road course. Looking to keep that streak alive this week for the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series, live on V-Speed, presented by Racing Revolution. Welcome in, everybody. I'm your host, Bradley Cooper, and that Racing Revolution logo is going to be tonight's sponsor. Didn't have an official distance or any kind of sponsorship here for this one. Apparently, everybody's afraid to sponsor a race that they know Jeremy Burns is going to win.
Or at least will be the favorite to do so, that is for sure. Although he's had a lot of challengers on the road course this season, Bradley. You never know. I mean, they got dangerously close a couple times this year to taking that top spot away, but no one has been able to do it yet.
No, they have not. And we look here at the win streak. It's been a performance of just dominance since Iowa here. This is after Iowa. Jeremy Burns, 9 wins on the season. When we hit the reset button, he's going to have an advantage over top of Travis Gilbert by about 4 points here. It's 9 wins and 544 above the cut line. Jeremy Burns very, very locked in. We've got 9 different winners this season. Tyler Harrison holding steady there in the 10th spot. Dakota Floyd well above that cut line, could fall out of it, but it's Trevor Keith. That's the name that we mentioned last week that really needs a win, and this is the racetrack he circled on his calendar.
Yeah, both the guys here, 17th and 18th, Trevor Keith, Parker Johnston. Both of these guys have had tremendous speed here in practice and through qualifying. If either one of them is going to make that jump into the top 16, you got to imagine tonight's the night that you got to try to capitalize, especially when the folks directly in front of them, guys like Caleb Gilbert, Kevin Orlando, Justice Murphy, not known for their road course prowess as much as those two. So certainly something to keep an eye on tonight. But, we did talk a little bit about Trevor Keith last week and how that point situation has affected him to this point. He got so close to winning his way in at the Chicago Street Course, came up about a corner short at that race. He'd like to bounce back and try to make up for that one here tonight.
Absolutely. And a lot of other drivers that are outside of that cutoff mark. Of course, Brandon Richardson has had kind of a fall off here since his victory at the start of the season. So would probably look to see if he could get another win. But I mean, it's really technical here at the tail end of the season. We have Richmond coming up and we're out of regular season races. So if you hate technical tracks, you're probably not going to like what's coming up.
No, certainly not. This is a real opportunity to showcase your skill as the driver over the next couple of weeks. And, it will be really interesting to see what happens from there. As we take a look here at Watkins Glen International, 2.5 miles just about. A little bit of an elevation change over the 7-turn road course, one of the most famous road courses in all of stock car racing. Most notably, that very heavy braking zone into turn 1, that tough right-hander. Then, of course, the bus stop down the back straightaway always can be a dangerous place to be. And if it's anything like what we saw over the past couple days in, the actual touring series, the carousel is certainly going to be an area to keep an eye on there. Turn 5, that big sweeping 180-degree turn on the right side of your screen, that might be an area where some people really have some trouble, because it certainly seemed to be a trouble spot over the weekend for the IRL guys.
Yeah, and it's kind of that setup for that carousel coming out of the bus stop chicane that throws a lot of drivers off. They maybe clip that rumble strip, send the car sideways. I've seen a few drivers overshoot that and go off into the grass, and then when they get to the other side of that carousel, do the same thing. They're overshooting that turn purposely on the exits, but sometimes that transition can get a little harsh and send these cars sideways.
Yeah, it really can. It doesn't take a whole lot to upset these cars once you start getting them rattling around a little bit. And I have a feeling we could definitely see that here tonight. This is a race analysis up on your screen. 45 laps tonight. Pit road speed of 40 miles an hour. 2 green-white checkered attempts if needed with a stage set for lap 10. 5 sets of tires available over the wall. Very unlikely they use all of them. 50% fuel load with this iRacing fixed setup. We've got a nice little field of about 26, 27 cars ready to rock and roll as it's time to take a look at today's starting grid.
Getting that Coastal Financial Pole Award. Well, you never guess. There he is. Jeremy Burns. He put up a 1:09.9. And I think he did it spitefully, Alex. We were talking about how if the qualifying held, it was about 3 minutes left in qual. Trevor Keith had the pole with a 1:10, almost flat. And Jeremy Burns went out there and beat it by a 10th. So congratulations to him.
Yeah, and just incredible consistency for the 9 to continue to be this fast at road courses week in, week out.
Through the rest of your starting grid, though, we have Trevor Keith starting to the outside. There's that 6/100ths of a second separating, not even that. It's incredible. 7/100ths, I think, is what it would come up to on that, and it's just incredible to see how much Trevor Keith has worked on these road courses, and he is joined there with Carter Lenz is another one of those drivers. Kyle Stewart, known for his top 5 runs. We'll have to wait and see how it all pans out, though, because turn 1, like you said, is very, very dangerous. Dakota Floyd, Parker Johnston going to start in row number 3. Row number 4 belongs to Tyler Harrison, Justin Ritchie in the number 55. And rounding out your top 10, Travis Gilbert in the 22, Kyle Diaz in the 26.
Looking back to row number 6 tonight, it will be the 77 of Grant Thorpe alongside the 35 of Dylan Picklesheimer. Rolling off 13th, it is the 12 of Justice Murphy, who needs a good run tonight to stay above that cut line. Michael Call qualified 14th here this evening in the 89. Row number 8, Trevor Erhardt in that 41 machine, the 14 of Michael Bennett to his outside. Grant Turner rolls off 17th here tonight with a 111.157. Caleb Gilbert, also just to the north of that cut line right now, rolls off 18th. And rounding out your top 20, it's 4-time Rob Rader, 19th. Kevin Orlando Jr. rolls off in the 20th position.
6 more cars to talk about. Alex Forget Berube, one of the multi-time winners this season, will start in 21st. Nick Alves still looking for another win here in 22nd position. 23rd goes to Daniel Holloway, Christopher Schaefer in 24th. In that final row, electing not to take times, Michael Reed in the 91, Jacob Sirkovich in the 5. So coming through that carousel, this is the part that Alex mentioned you need to pay attention to. This is where a lot of overtakes happen as well. You can set a driver up out of that bus stop chicane, and a lot of times if you hit it just right, you can make up a ton of ground. And then that's more like an oval style racetrack there when you come through that carousel, but it's all downhill. So you see a lot of these drivers overshoot that exit and try to do an overtake in that portion.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where if you don't get a good run through the carousel, you really notice it suffering down on the straightaway. A lot of opportunities to make a dive here in the turn 6 as well. I mean, that corner sets up so much of the rest of the lap here. So it's a really critical part of the racetrack. And here they go through turn 7. This is the last corner on the racetrack before you get back to the start-finish line. And this is where the pace car is going to peel off so we can get ready to go racing at the Glen.
Here we go for week 22, live from Watkins Glen. It's the Chapman Cup Series. And a car into the wall.
Oh, that might be the 9.
Jeremy Burns through turn 1. And if you're not a Jeremy Burns fan, you just got your wish.
What happened here? Jeremy Burns, he was the pole sitter. As we see now, there goes Trevor Keith, Carter Linz working their way through the bus stop into the carousel. And already a lot of shuffling in those front positions. Kyle Stewart also down several spots as well. He had qualified 4th. But now Trevor Keith, Carter Linz going to pace the field here going into 6. About a car length separating the two of them. As they get ready to complete the opening lap of this race. And Trevor Keith is going to have the advantage for now. Grant Thorpe into the tire barrier coming out of 6. Heavy left side damage for him.
Go back and watch on this instant replay the initial start of this race.
See Jeremy Burns there on the inside. He's alongside Kyle Stewart through 1. Looks like the two of them just get together a little bit, and hard right front contact to the 9. Gets pointed the wrong way. Falls all the way back to the tail end of the field.
Burns actually made the mistake there. He came up on the rumble strips, and honestly, if you're the 55, we'll watch it one more time here on board with the nose, but if you're the 55 machine, no, actually this is the 10 car, that's my apologies there, back some one more time. But if you're the 10, you really don't have anywhere else to go here.
Well, yeah, because it looks like Stewart's trying to get back onto the racetrack here, and yeah, just he's trying to not flare super wide. Burns gets up on the rumble strip. The 9 already a little off balance, and then the 10 didn't flare out, I think, as far as the 9 was expecting. And the two of those factors combined leads to a very early collision here that really puts the race-winning favorite, I would say, now in a rather tough hole. He's back about 14 seconds, running in 25th, and this stage caution is going to be instrumental to try to repair that damage, as you just saw the 23 behind him absolutely fly into turn 1.
Burns right now got a lot of ground to make up. Would not be surprised if he just flipped the stage to trying to get back up there. But he's also going to have some damage to repair. So don't count him out.
Yeah, that's the part that it makes me wonder how viable flipping the stage would be, just depending on how extensive the damage is. You can see the right front is caved in a little bit on that number 9 machine. That will be a storyline that we'll be keeping our eye on here through the opening part of this run. Is just up here. Here's another car that had some early damage. That's Grant Thorpe in the 77, who had an incident 2 laps ago in this exact part of the track. Trying to rebound a little bit. He's up to 20th, just in front of Daniel Holloway. So we are now on to lap number 4. So everyone kind of settling in, finding their own little bit of real estate out here, which very much is the case at these road courses, especially in the next gen. You just kind of find a little bit of spot where you can call your own and wait for the car in front of you to make a mistake.
Well, continue to dig here, especially if you had a rough start like Jeremy Burns or, Grant Thorpe. Continue to dig through and try your best to get back up here. The race is far from over. We're not even, 10% into this thing yet. Just continue on. And we have some problems here. I think Tyler Harrison, somebody clipped the grass. That was the 10, actually. Kyle Stewart. Let's take it back on replay and take a look at that.
Oh, there's a huge wreck coming out of the bus stop. Caleb Gilbert and several other cars are around. I know we're taking a look at the replay here for that, but there was a huge wreck just as we were cutting to that replay out of the bus stop. Caleb Gilbert and several other cars with a massive bit of contact. Looks like Alex Forget amongst them. You can see some heavy left front damage to the 19. It has been a carnage-filled opening 5 laps here at the Glen.
No yellows here on the full course, so let's take it back. This is out of the bus stop. 54, nowhere to go for the 24 of Alves. 5 of Sirkovich. There's a 9 that just snuck through at 91 of Michael Reed. Let's back us up one more time. Now let's look at the 19 of Alex Forget. It looks like he clips the entry. Hits the wall. The 54, I'm not sure if he was trying to avoid. He seems to be an unrelated incident here.
Yeah, it almost looked like those two they're running nose to tail. I mean, several car lengths apart, but I think they both just get offline here in different fashions. Yeah, 54 loses it coming out of the bus stop and then gets hit by Alves, Reed, and Thorpe. Yeah, it's been a tough day to start for the 77, and yeah, so there you go. Trevor Keith gonna put them now several laps down. Alves and Gilbert now scored 2 laps down at this point. There's Kyle Stewart and Travis Gilbert battling for the 6th position right now. Door to door through turn 1, going to work their way up into the S's. Looks like Stewart's going to hold on to that spot for now. So, man, it's been as much as it's been a battle for track position in the early going, it's also been a bit of a battle for survival. I mean, we've seen a lot of cars pick up some pretty notable damage already.
Oh yeah, I was getting a phone call and Brian Headings was trying to message me. And yeah, I'm here. I didn't take the call, but it just caught me off guard. Usually I don't get a phone call this late.
It's always one of those things. It's better to be safe than sorry if you're getting a call at this hour in the night.
Yep. Trevor Keith continues though to lead. He's now led 6 out of the 6 laps complete. On to lap 7. 3/4 of the way through this stage. You gotta wonder, is this the one?
It's still very early, but so far positive signs here for the driver of the 15, although Carter Lenz, to his credit, has not let Trevor Keith get away. Lenz continues to sit about a half second back. That was about the gap when they got settled out after about halfway through the opening lap, and it continues to be the gap here. So you see we're on board now with the 66 going through the bus stop. You can see just how off balance that car can get going over the curves, but that's the fastest way to get through there. The cost of it, of course, being what we saw happen with Alex Forget and Caleb Gilbert just a few laps ago. Now here they go into turn 6. That gap remains about a half second as they continue just to get a feel for the race car here in the early going, figure out what they need to do to maximize speed going through these corners without burning up their stuff. And they're putting on a healthy distance here from third place Dakota Floyd. Floyd's about 3 seconds back now, and about a second clear of that battle between Johnston and Harrison. As we jump on board here, this is the 57's point of view.
And Floyd, also one of those drivers that has shown he has the ability to get around these road courses. We were talking about Kyle Stewart, Carter Lynch, Trevor Keith, and of course the 9 of Jeremy Burns, but this is another guy that you can add to that list that has success when we have to turn right. Won't take anything away from him. He's improved tremendously, and I've mentioned a few times when I used to race here on the service with Dakota Floyd, and I kind of used him as a metric of if I was on that week or not, if I was doing well. But now I can't even keep pace with him. It's insane how much he's improved, and he's stuck with it. He's racing over, I think, 5 or 6 different leagues now throughout the year.
And I tell you what, getting that many reps will get you pretty good at it, that's for sure. Probably explains why I am not very good at it, because I ran my first oval official in about a year and a half last night. So it gives you a sense on, practice makes perfect, and, if it doesn't make you perfect, it definitely will make you better getting your reps in. And, I don't know what that was. Something on my side just sounded like an engine exploded.
I think Michael Reed's engine just expired.
Yeah, it sounded... it looks like the 91's maybe. I just heard the audio in my headset as we were talking. Oh, yeah, heavy damage for the 91. He was already caught up in that incident with Forget and Caleb Gilbert. And I think he just could not get the car slowed down here going through the bus stop.
It blew up?
Oh, yeah. It blew up, then hit the wall. That's a tough one, too. And what was already a frustrating day is now going to be certainly an incredibly disappointing day for the 91. Michael Reed, not the day he was looking for here today, is Trevor Keith going to be coming around off at turn 7, trying to hold off Carter Lentz here for the stage win.
One more lap to go for stage number 1. In week 22, Watkins Glen has been dominated so far by Trevor Keith, at the expense of Jeremy Burns from the pole back to 23rd, looking to get that damage repaired. And I'm sure he'll be back onto pit road to get some more of that, as he has actually came down pit road once already. But can Lenz steal this away? 0.03 of a second, roughly 0.04 up the hill. Looking back here at the 66, Trevor Keith still has a mirror full.
That he does. Here goes the two of them into the bus stop. Looks like Lynn's got a pretty decent entrance to it. That gap comes down about 1/10 of a second. Here comes the 66 digging through the carousel. This one is not done yet, coming to the stage checkered.
Trevor Keith has it, though. He got a really good exit out of that carousel, pulls it back towards that half a second gap that he's maintained since lap 1. Trevor Keith off of the final corner, and Trevor Keith is going to claim it. Stage 1 victor. Trevor Keith in the 15.
Nicely done there for the 15. That's exactly what he wants to see with the way his point situation coming into today was. Couldn't have gone out there and executed any better. There is the yellow for the stage break. Trevor Keith, Carter Lynch, Dakota Floyd, your top 3 at the stage caution flies. Other drivers getting points: Parker Johnston, Tyler Harrison, Kyle Stewart, Travis Gilbert, Justin Ritchie, Kyle Diaz, and Dylan Picklesider. And tell you what, I'm keeping an eye on this timing tower, and didn't make it into the top 10, but one of the big movers so far, Bradley, Rob Rader, up from 19th to 12th in that opening stint.
Four-time champion, a little bit different paint scheme this week. He's been running different paint schemes as opposed to, as opposed to what he normally runs. And King of the Hill this week. So we get a better look at that.
Yeah, let's say Hank Hill's been digging here in the opening 11 laps. He's up 7 positions and he's knocking on the door now at the top 10. So that's a good looking ride. I'm not gonna lie, I can just hear the theme song now stuck in my head, and I'm sure it will be stuck in my head for the rest of the night.
Yeah. Well, here we go. We're lining back up to the pace car. All these drivers gotta, you know, we've seen it a couple times this season where drivers make mistakes during the parade laps and caution laps, just trying to get around road courses, especially when they double back up. So hopefully that doesn't happen to anyone. I've seen it. We've all seen it.
Yeah, we have. And, I mean, it's one of those things where you laugh and be like, oh, I can't believe that happened. But, like, sometimes that's all it takes to completely throw off your race. You know, I can't help but think back to the Indy 500 this year. Scott McLaughlin spins it trying to heat up his tires on the pace lap after all that month of, you know, testing and practicing to bin the car before it even gets going. I mean, it is a really deflating feeling, and we've seen it in, you know, in this league and a variety of other leagues across the coverage here on V-Speed over the years, where just all it takes is one errant twitch or, you know, someone not quite paying attention, and then you've got damage that you're stuck with for the rest of the race. And it's one of those things where, you know, it's kind of silly, but it happens often enough where you definitely need to be just as aware during the pace laps as you do under green. As here is Jeremy Burns, who I think is still trying to get caught up to the field here after he pit before the stage break came out, and he fell well behind the field, but was able to get some of that damage repaired.
While we have a moment here, I think it's time to bring up the stage winner, Trevor Keith. See if we can find him on the radio. Still hunting. There we go. Trevor Keith, it's Bradley Cooper and Alex Gagnon is actually coming down pit road. We'll give you a moment here.
Oh, you guys are good. Go ahead. We're good.
Don't miss that box. No pressure.
Hey, we've done that a time or two, huh?
All right, just relax. Nice and easy.
That's tough if I do it on live on V-Speed.
Yeah, no pressure, but the camera is on.
Guess what, guys? We're in. We're good.
Nice.
All right. So, Trevor, before you miss the call here, I know you have Carter Lentz keeping you honest this whole race. We'll drop that right side jack in just a moment. You can answer a couple questions. But the start, man, this is exactly what you could have hoped for. Is a guy that's dominated the road courses all season long is not in the picture right now.
Yeah, I mean it's. I mean I hate to say that I'm excited about it because I mean it sucks for Burns. I feel bad for him. Well, I like whoever wins this race. I don't want to beat Burns because someone wrecked him. I want to beat him straight up. I always have. I still got to beat Carter though, and Travis he got out of the front of me in the pits here, so Dakota's still fast Parker. So Carter kept me honest throughout the whole stage. I was hoping to pull away there a little bit and kind of relax. Couldn't relax because Carter's on my butt the whole race. So I'm sure he will be the rest of the way. And we got Travis Gilbert to deal with now too. So I feel bad for Burns, man. I was excited to race him, man. We had pretty good speed, both of us. Carter, it was going to be another great showing. It feels like every time all three of us have great speed at these road courses and one of us gets taken out or takes our own selves out or something. Never can get all three of us battling, but that's the beauty about having three. You get two guys that can.
And Travis Gilbert took 2 tires. Do you think that's a good call, or are you more confident here that we're going left and right? 4 tires to call.
I think 4 tires is the call. It's the tire wear's pretty bad. There's a pretty good chunk amount of tire fall off. As you can see, the lap times from qualifying laps. I'm not running quali laps right now. I'm trying to save some tires. So we'll see. I don't think it'll work, but I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, so but we'll see. See what happens here. Try to get him on the restart like I did Burns there. Get out in front, pull away. Hopefully, it's the plan. Get that clean air as fast as I possibly can.
Well, Trevor, good luck out there, man. I know,
Thank you.
I know the pressure's on, but
We got to finish this one.
yeah, we'll get it done. Good luck out there, buddy.
Thank you.
Fast Motorsports getting ready to go back green. Starting on the right-hand side of Travis Gilbert for this one. Yeah, I don't mean to put the pressure on these guys. I thought they had already hit pit road because Jeremy came down twice. So I guess he was just, he didn't care if he got an EOL or came down a closed pit. He was going to pit regardless. But he ends up cycling through now because of the way that all fell up to the 7th or 8th position. So he is back in the hunt here.
He certainly is, and let me tell you, I don't know how he managed to figure that one out, but there he is in pretty prime position here. Unless he did all the stop he needed to under green, and then just came down to try to repair any last remaining optional damage. Because he did make a stop right as we were seeing Trevor Keith in the middle of his. But either way, Travis Gilbert, Trevor Keith, now your front row. Carter Lins, Dakota Floyd, Parker Johnson, Tyler Harrison, that front group. So a lot of the same names from the opening part of the stage up there now, although Travis Gilbert, the big mover with that pit call. He's currently up to first from 9th. And we'll see what the 22 has for Travis Gilbert and Carter Lin, or for Trevor Keith and Carter Lin, sorry.
So all the Jeremy Burns fans in here, words of encouragement, and then Terry Hudgens, I think, said $20 for the driver that takes Burns out in the first lap. So I won't say that the 10 took him out. That wasn't the case there. But if you wanted to give $20, Kyle Stewart would take it gladly.
Anyway, here we go.
Stage number 2 from Watkins Glen about to be underway. 2 tires on the top spot, and Travis Gilbert will be the command car for this restart. Pace car out of the way, and here we go again. From the road course in New York, week 22, back underway. This is tight right here. They got some 3, almost 4 wide, almost in the back there, but Trevor Keith making quick work of Travis Gilbert and setting sail. Dakota Floyd on the outside. He has Parker Johnson up the S's.
Looks like Floyd's going to take that spot away. Side by side, the S is not where you want to be as Parker Johnson gives him a shot. And Tyler Harrison going to slide on through. Takes that spot. Oh, Trevor Keith's around.
Keith's
the 15.
Around. The 22
huge
turned
contact.
Him.
Oh my goodness, Trevor Keith hard into the wall going into the bus stop.
I think the 22 turned him.
Unreal.
I'm going to say it now. There was no reason for that car to go left.
Yeah, we'll take another look here, but boy, that was a hard lick, and he's got some noticeable front end damage. Yeah, you can see just how caved in the front of that car is. Here's another look at it. It might have just been a poorly timed block. Either way, 22 had a run. Gets a huge piece of the bumper. And around the 15 goes. So now, that's 2 of the, dare I say, 3 real favorites in this race who have noticeable and sizable front end damage. As, Carter Lins also got spun around from that, tagging the back of the 22. That's all 3 of them now.
Wow. It is, I don't know the word for it here.
The complexion of this race has completely changed. And I do not say that lightly. Yeah. So now, we got Tyler Harrison and Dakota Floyd sitting 3rd and 4th. Kyle Stewart 4th, Parker Johnson 5th. Everyone chasing Travis Gilbert. And I just watching off of that, the 22 must got some of that Hulk strength under the hood.
Oh, he's losing it as well.
He's just losing it off of 6. Contact with Harrison into the fence. Oh, and now Dakota Floyd's got the lead. Nobody's safe in the front spot right now. If I'm Dakota Floyd, I'd be a little scared leading this race right now after what's happened to the leaders the past 2 laps. Kyle Stewart, nice pass for 2nd.
We've been treated to a lot of excitement in these road course races. No exceptions with this week. It is all falling apart for the top 5 drivers. The fastest cars in practice, Johnston in the wall.
And he was running in the top 5 when he hits the wall here, and the S's hit it hard too. Noticeable left front damage. 48 trying to get back up the speed here. Take a look at the replay. Oh man, hard hit to that barricade. There's not a whole lot of padding there either. That's just metal railing. Taking a look here.
Slip up and touch the outside or inside, I guess, and just gets it sideways.
Yeah, that car just, once it got a little bit of the curbing there through the S's, never came back the center. He's on pit road now. Dakota Floyd leads over Kyle Stewart. Kyler Harrison, Kyle Diaz, Justin Ritchie now your top 5. What a whirlwind from the restart.
Look at the situation it created here.
Oh, man. Jeremy Burns, Trevor Keith currently running in the 8th and 9th position. Oh, Burns got really offline going across the curbing there and one.
Oh,
Keith.
Contact with the 15 and the 89.
Yeah, everything got checked up there. The 9's going to be able to dance away. Now side by side is Keith and Call. Now everyone going to try to pile it into the inside here, getting around the 15. Here goes Trevor Erhardt. Picklesheimer's in there as well as they all go ring into that bus stop. And somehow they got that sorted out in time.
I would not want to be a car on this racetrack right now. This seems like a Bristol or a Richmond race, the way they're door banging.
Out of curiosity, what's the track temp at the moment?
It's not bad. It's hot.
It's pretty warm. All right. I mean, it seemed like people were really sliding and dancing around, but weather's nice, track's hot. Can't blame it on that. But everyone's helmet may be on just a size too small here tonight. Because we are not even halfway, and we're looking through it, and of cars who have led this race or have been in first at some point, Jeremy Burns has had issues tonight from the pole. He's down to 9th. Travis Gilbert has dropped to 6th. Trevor Keith is now outside the top 10. Carter Lins wasn't in first, but spent that whole opening stage in 2nd. He's fallen all the way down to 16th from that spin off the back of the 22. So, dangerous place to be in the race lead at the moment. But I think everyone has settled it down enough for the moment, or we're going to start seeing some more laps tick away, as people are just absolutely bulldozing that stretch of grass at the end of the bus stop.
There's Carter Lins, who's fallen back to 16th, trying to get his way back to the top 10. On board now with the 66, has Michael Bennett in front of him as they come up on turn 6 and 7. Lins
he's
checking
thinking about
left,
getting in
checking
here.
right.
Oh, he's going to be able to get there too. He's going to have the outside for 7. Oh boy. And I think that would cause the 66 to be just a little hesitant. Was going to find a way to slide on by. The 14 now going to make that move on the 5 as well. So Carter Lynch showing why he qualified in the second row. They door bang a little bit. The 5 and the 66 get together.
And the 24's around.
Yeah, Nick Alves is just trying to get back on the racetrack here. He got caught up in that really early incident.
He's coming out of pit road, okay.
Yeah, he got caught up in that early incident with Caleb Gilbert. Completely destroyed the front end of that car. But
very cordial coming out of pit exit there. Let these guys go. Don't want to be involved in that.
Yeah, if he went out of pit exit about as fast as he could have, he would have been right in the thick of that. But right now, it's Dakota Floyd and Kyle Stewart starting to put some distance on the rest of the field. We're on board here with the 10.
Stewart, again, when it came down to crunch time, I think Stewart has had a little bit more speed than Floyd at some of these road courses, but he's also been caught up in more things because he's started deeper in the field most of the time. And so I think for Stewart, qualifying has been kind of the Achilles heel for him. He's had the speed every single week, but he's gotten a few top 5 finishes, and actually I think a podium at one of the road courses, whether it was this season or last season. We've talked to him. He could, obviously has the speed to go up there and take it away from Dakota Floyd, but Floyd this last time by was about 0.06 of a second slower. So I don't know. It's too early to tell.
Yeah, I mean, especially if they're going to race the way we've seen the racing so far today. You know, it's hard to really get a good sense of anything with how chaotic it's been since the restart from the stage break. Jump on board here. This is Travis Gilbert in the 22. Restarted out front. Had the incident there with Keith and with Linz, and then subsequently got all out of sorts going through 6, lost the lead, and now finds himself running in this 6th position, trying to track down Justin Ritchie. So he has a mirror full of Justice Murphy. Speaking of Justice Murphy, another one of those drivers just above the cut line. You know, maybe a sneaky contender to try to work his way up here for a win here tonight, potentially locking himself in for the Chapman Cup Series playoffs.
All About Bugs number 12 is all over. He's all about the back bumper of the 22 of Gilbert. As they came through turn 1, I thought he was going to bump him through the S's. A little bit loose. Man, that's never a good feeling. The car snaps free and goes towards that outside wall.
He held on to it, though, and right now it looks like everything's getting stacked up a little bit behind, I believe that's Tyler Harrison. The 45 getting a bit of a train of cars forming behind him here, going all the way back to about Michael Call. And now here comes Justin Ritchie, maybe taking a peek here through the carousel. Doesn't look like he's going to be able to get anything going that time, but he is closing in on the back bumper of Harrison towards 6. Keeps thinking about it, just not able to find that little bit of extra speed he needs to make the lunge.
No, he's got it there. Harrison overshot the exit, and it's a real opportunity for the 55. If he can dive to the inside here through 1, he might have it.
Yeah, he got right to the back bumper. Nice little move, steps out to the inside, dives it in there in the 1.
Oh!
And there's contact with the 45.
22 got into the back of him. He's ran over 2 cars now.
And now
45
Harrison.
let him know he's not happy.
Yeah, Harrison and Gilbert now side by side through the S's. It's a tough place to run double wide. Gilbert's going to take the spot for now. An interesting braking zone here into the bus stop.
Harrison is
Look at how
not
close
happy.
he is. Yeah, he's right there. Gets to the back bumper there through the carousel, a little bit of a tap. I'll fall back just a hair.
I'm tempted to go back and watch the initial contact, but these boys aren't done.
No, they are not. Well, it looks like Travis Gilbert now has pulled out just enough of advantage here. So let's take another look at this. Ritchie goes for the move here into 1. And looks like actually a little bit of contact between the 55 and the 45. Got Harrison out of whack, but then here we go, a little bit more contact between the 2 in the turn 2. And that's where I think this battle starts going up the hill. We're on board here at the 22. You'll see just a little bit of contact between Harrison and Ritchie, just with the lines that they were trying to take through the corner. And 45 doing a nice job holding on to him.
Lead is spread out about half a second, and we saw that earlier with Linz and Keith. Floyd probably putting some dirty air on the front end of Kyle Stewart right now, preventing him from getting too close. Can't really run the turns the same way when you're right up on the back bumper of somebody. So it's probably wise for Stewart to just hang back and have that little pocket there to get some aero on the front end.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're seeing this. I mean, this is about the battle for the lead is 2 seconds clear of third place right now. We're on board with Kyle Stewart, about 4/10 back of Dakota Floyd. And this seems to be about the distance that we've seen between first and second for a lot of the day today. It's about the distance we saw between Trevor Keith and Carter Linz at the start of this race. And then, you know, we're kind of taking the cycle through the field, seeing some good battles here. I mean, still this battle, Travis Gilbert, Tyler Harrison, Justice Murphy, 5th, 6th, 7th. Trevor Keith has worked his way back to 9th. Jeremy Burns has slid down to 11th. He's now battling with Carter Linz, who's going to make that pass through the S's. The 66 also got caught up like the 9, but I think Linz's car is in better shape, and I think that's part of the reason we see him make that pass as easily as he did.
Burns definitely still has that right front damage hindering him, and right now, as they send it into the bus stop. A little out wide here for the 9. It's going to go into the grass. That car not handling up to par. And he fades back to 13th now. 25 laps in. Approaching that halfway mark. Just actually passed it. And the lead is shortened down to 3/10 roughly.
Yeah, Kyle Stewart, nice job through the back half of the course. He is right there on the scene, only about a car length and a half back at Dakota Floyd. Gonna get real close here in the turn 1. They gotta be careful though, because Parker Johnston, who's off the lead lap, is behind him, but on fresher tires and is absolutely flying right now. So you gotta be mindful on how you make that approach. So it looks like Floyd gonna be able to reopen up that gap just a little bit through the S's. And as all this is happening, Kyle Diaz starting to creep a little bit closer. He's gone from about 2.7 back to now scored at about 1.8.
Tyler Harrison's going to get passed by the 12 of Justice Murphy, so put Justice Murphy up to 6th spot. Continuing to gain positions. Grant Turner back here in the 39. He's side by side with Jacob Sirkovich, who's sideways in a crash through the bus stop again. The 24's involved.
So is Bennett. Sirkovich around. Alves trying to get it pointed the right direction. 3 cars all go around there in the bus stop. Didn't look like anyone got a crazy bit of damage. Looks like Bennett actually, I stand correct, I think Bennett actually got a pretty hard lick there. Take one more look at it, watching the 5 and the 24. Jacob Sirkovich in that 5, Nick Alves in the 24, and I think going side by side here into the bus stop's what's going to do it. Yeah, just not a lot of room there. Gets way up on the curbing. Around goes the 5, and did not look like the 39 was too keen on giving him a lot of room there into the bus stop, Bradley.
No. No, he really shortened it up, but man, Sirkovich, there's a lot of gumption to go through there like that. Man, the 9 just snuck past it.
That's been the theme of his day so far outside of that opening lap incident. However, that opening lap incident was enough to really kind of put him behind the 8 ball. So now, there's Parker Johnston. He is off the lead lap. He's actually scored 7 laps down right now. But he is creeping his way on past the leaders. You see Trevor Keith there in 10th, trying to nurse the damage that he's got as well. 35 of Picklesheimer just in front of him. Been a quiet but good day so far for the 35. Been running top 10 basically all evening long. And he continues to do so now as Trevor Keith going to peel down pit road. Might be seeing some green flag pit stops here.
15 car going to kind of short pit if they do have to come down. I don't know. A lot of these road courses we've seen, drivers are having to pit with around 10 laps to go is about the limit they can make it. So, excuse me, man. Tell you, having a rough day today.
Certainly, certainly one way to put it. Speaking, I mean, you're not the only one though. I've seen a lot of the contenders today have a rough day as well. I mean, you can see the damage to Trevor Keith's car as he puts 4 tires and fuel in it. Gets maybe a little bit of that damage repaired, but certainly not enough to make a major difference. And with a little bit of lap traffic, now Kyle Stewart and Kyle Diaz on the scene here to the back bumper of Dakota Floyd. The big mover really is Diaz. He's closed in a 1.5 seconds on the race leader. And now we've got ourselves a 3-car tango for the lead spot here, with just under about 17 laps to go.
Just keep in mind, we still have green flag pit stops that could come in as a factor, and see Kyle Diaz up on the rear bumper. And I know teammate there with the 22, but Diaz having a really quiet night, just creeping his way methodically 10 positions up. Justice Murphy and Michael Call, the next ones that are moving more positions than that. Bob Rader looks like he's coming down pit road now, as is Tyler Harrison.
Both of those cars running about 12th or better at the start of this green flag pit stop, so starting to see some takers for pit road. We'll see what the lead trio wants to do this time around. I wonder if the car is running 2nd or 3rd, try to get off cycle just a little bit. We have seen some tire fall off today, and that may be the difference. You know, just getting one lap on fresher tires compared to the car in front of you may be all the difference. It looks like now Diaz is going to make that stop. He's down in. So is Parker Johnston. And Kyle Stewart got a really good run down that front straightaway. He's going to be right there on the back bumper of the 57 through 1. Look at him go.
Challenging for the lead, but getting to him and staying there, it seems easy to do. It's getting around him. Gonna find the right opportunity. And with the 26 of Diaz short pitting, and Travis Gilbert got a speeding penalty down pit road.
Oh, man. Devastating for the 22. He had some really good speed here today. But that is going to be a long wait on pit road for Travis Gilbert. Carter Lynn's also making his stop. So is Kyle Diaz. Quick stop for Carter Lynn's, 8.4 in and out of the box. Wonder if he's trying a similar strategy to what the 22 did at the stage break.
If 2 tires works, I don't know. It didn't seem to work for the 22 at Gilbert, but he has also kind of compacted his day. And the 57 of Floyd has a little left front damage. Not sure where he got that, but they're following each other down pit road.
And Kyle Stewart made up a lot of time getting down on pit road here. Got right to his back bumper. Is Michael Call now going to cycle to the point? Huge battle on pit road here between the 2 cars running first and second. This pit stop going to be critical. They both have a long drive to get down to their box. And here they go.
Oh, no mistake
Kyle Stewart
there.
missed the box. Still missing the box. He can't find it. Oh, man, that's going to cost him a number of positions. Pit road has been troublesome here today. We saw the 22 a speeding penalty. Kyle Stewart missing his box. Now he's down in the way, but he lost a ton of time to Dakota Floyd. Probably to the tune of about 5 seconds.
And Kyle Diaz, just for that short amount of time he was out there on and off pit road, that we're talking about 4 seconds ahead now of Dakota Floyd with about 15 laps to go. I don't know if Dakota Floyd can make up that kind of time.
It's going to be tough, especially not doing that. He got a huge bit of airtime going through the bus stop. This is the moment where you'll have a bit of a tire advantage, but you just need to go out there and execute. Here comes Michael Call for his stop, which should cycle Diaz to the point. And this race that has been incredibly tough to keep a handle on as far as who is kind of the dominant car, the car to look for, takes another twist here. It's now Kyle Diaz up to the point. He's going to be leading his first laps of the day. Started 10th and had some decent speed. But now with a good pit stop has put himself in really good position here to make something happen.
Keep an eye on the left-hand side, and we'll reference 4.2, 4.3 seconds for Floyd back through the S's. And the last time by, Floyd had a pit stop, so I don't have accurate lap data to tell you if Floyd is actually catching up to him or not. But based off what I'm seeing,
it certainly looks like it right now. Gained about 5/10 on that straightaway.
Yeah,
he was ripping it. And Carter Lynn's on that 2-tire stop did get himself some track position. He's up to 4th, as high as he's been since that incident with the 22.
And any other track,
eating into that lead.
Yeah, in any other track, you wouldn't expect something like 4 seconds to go away so quickly. But here, you can lose a 10th. You have 7 opportunities to do a 10th, and then it adds up, you know?
It really does. That's the thing with these road courses, is that it's such a rhythm situation where if you get out of sync for one corner, it'll affect the next several. And, you know, you could lose, you know, a half a tenth in each corner. You still feel like you're going pretty quick, but by the end of the lap, that's adding up to close to half second. So we're seeing that deficit really start to drop here. Dakota Floyd cutting that deficit down. You see the difference there, nearly a second difference between them last time around, about 9/10 Dakota Floyd made up on Kyle Diaz. Part of me wonders if this 26 is just trying to save a little bit, or if the 57 is really that much quicker.
With a mistake there from Kyle Stewart, falling back to 6th. He's working on Michael Call. Michael Call and Carter Lynn's going to battle now. Lynn's on that strategy. Maybe right sides, maybe fuel only. Not exactly sure what Lynn's did there. But works his way back into the top 5 and probably won't contest this too much here with Michael Call. He's going to let the 89 to the right-hand side, but gets a really good exit. See it going into turn 1 if we have a change for 4th. We do.
Yeah, a bit of a wide entry there for the 66, and I think he knows that he's just trying to get the finish that he can here today, which I think is a very wise move. Instead of trying to go all out, who knows what would happen. But right now, running pretty steady in that 5th spot. Here's Tyler Harrison, who's back to 9th. He's chasing down the back bumper of Trevor Keith, who, despite his damage, continues to run in the 8th position. If you told me at the start of this race we would be talking about a potential race-winning scenario that does not involve the 9, the 15, or the 66, I think I would have laughed a little bit. That's exactly what we find ourselves in here as we take a look at these point standings. Tyler Harrison, one of those drivers, not locked in yet, although has a pretty healthy points advantage, and if he's able to hold on to this top 10 run, should certainly help him in his quest. But Dakota Floyd, keeping an eye on that, he isn't locked in either. Today could be the day he's able to track down Kyle Diaz. Diaz with that win already this season. He is locked in, as Floyd made up about another 6/10 that last lap.
Lap traffic in between them there. That's the Candyman and the 21 of Daniel Holloway in between them here. So Floyd going to have to navigate that. With 10 to go, 11 to go, 10 and a half into the bus stop. 21's going to allow that 57 by. Floyd with some hang time. The first turn of that bus stop chicane, now down to 2 seconds. Man, he is on the way.
He certainly is, and next time by, it'll be 10 laps to go. Still a lot of time in this race to resolve it. Kyle Diaz, the 26, has got something in the tank. I think now might be the time we start taking a look at it. Because, I mean, that 4.5 second gap has shrunk by more than half over the past 3 or 4 laps. And it really is coming down, I think, to these two cars as they run. 26 and the 57 have been the ones who have executed the best so far here today and have had, that little bit of luck to not get caught up in anything crazy. They'll be running 1-2, and now right now, here's Justin Ritchie in that 3rd spot. He's about 2 seconds clear of Michael Call. And the 55 having a really solid run today as well.
Up 5 spots, Michael Call up 10. Justice Murphy was the biggest mover. And still is, I think, based off numbers. No, he's only up 6 positions now, so it's Michael Call who's going to have that 10 positions gain. That kind of go long strategy, have to see if it works out for Michael Call, as he appears to have only taken right sides on this 89.
Yeah, now the 89, I mean, he shot a little off cycle to try to give himself the freshest tires compared to the rest of the group. And running in that 4th spot right now. As you see, Harrison and Justice Murphy look to make the pass here on Trevor Keith. They'll both take that spot away. Picklesheimer looking to do the same. Oh, big move there. Picklesheimer going to look to the inside here in 6th, though. So 35 and the 15 go to war for 9th. All this happening in front of Rob Rader, subsequently Hank Hill.
Off the back end of Tyler Harrison, looking back at Justice Murphy going into turn 1. Under 10 to go. Harrison back to where he started this race. Almost had a chance to lead a lap, if you can believe that. At the very beginning of this run, we had 4 lead changes at the start of stage 2.
And he got all the way up the second. He was knocking on the door first. Now, with that pit cycle, has dropped back to the 7th position, but that's exactly where he qualified, and looks like it's going to be a pretty solid points day for the 45 if this holds up. Same deal can be said for Justice Murphy just behind him, who I'm sure is happy that, you know, we're not looking at a new winner that'd be below him in the standings at the moment. So we're on board here with Rob Rader trying to take this spot from Trevor Keith to try to break into the top 10. With a side draft into 6th. Keith's got the inside line here. Rader will have the inside for 7. That's the place to be. He'll take that spot away, and for the first time tonight, Rob Rader finds himself running in the top 10, up from 19th. It's been a pretty solid run, if relatively quiet, for the 53.
Lead has been trimmed down again. And Parker Johnston, a car that was a factor earlier in this tandem between the 10 and the 57, is now a factor between Kyle Diaz and Dakota Floyd. But the lead is still coming down. Another 4/10 through the bus stop. Wow.
Yeah, Floyd absolutely made up a ton of time through the bus stop there. Diaz did not get a great run through there. Cut off about 4/10 in that gap. Although Dakota Floyd's rate of closing to Kyle Diaz has shrunk significantly since the start of this race.
Oh, that's going to be another one. Diaz made a mistake out of 6.
We'll see if he's able to capitalize. Floyd, though, in the dirty air behind the 48. Trying to get some sort of run formed here. It's going to be critical that Dakota Floyd finds a way around Parker Johnston before long, because that gap is starting to stabilize now. Even with the mistake, Diaz opening it back up to 1.9.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. I know if you're in Dakota Floyd's shoes right now, you're wondering, why is Parker Johnston in front of me? He could let me by, let me race, let me chase down this leader. Because if Johnston makes a mistake, it's going to cost me time. But at the same time, if you're in Parker Johnston's shoes, you're trying to get your lap back. You're trying to race back up here, but he is 7 laps down. So in my opinion, for Parker Johnston right now, I would let Dakota Floyd go by. There's nothing to gain here. Christopher Schaefer is 6 laps ahead of you. There's no positions to be gained. And really, I think it creates a situation where maybe next week, Dakota Floyd doesn't give any room at Richmond.
It's certainly a possibility. We'll see.
He's costing him time, in my opinion.
Yeah, and looks like maybe
he is going to let him by.
Move there.
He lets him by. Okay. Shout out to Parker Johnston for that.
And pretty incredibly, the moment that happened, the deficit shrunk from 2.3 back down to 1.9, because Diaz, I don't think, had a great turn 1. So
I'm going to give it to him.
Parker. Hey, there you go. I mean, hey, it's a classy move for sure. Because that is not a move that you have to make, but I'm sure it's a move that the 57 is going to appreciate, to have an opportunity to try to track down Kyle Diaz at the moment.
Yeah, you got 5 laps left to do it.
The 57 is a lot stronger through the bus stop than the 26. The 26, though, seems to get a lot of that time back going through the S's, it felt like.
Last time by a 1:11.411. Floyd this time by, another mistake there into turn 6. He's going to give up a little more time. Floyd's catching up. 5 to go. Week 22. It's Kyle Diaz with the lead. Dakota Floyd trying to chase him down. It was execution on pit road. Just faster in and out of the lane by 3.5 seconds. And 4 seconds in the box. Kyle Diaz is on a little bit older tires, but it seems to be working so far. He's maintaining this lead, but he's got 5 more laps to keep it up here.
Take a look here. I mean, this should be a fun battle to watch if they get a little bit closer. Kyle Diaz, here he goes again to the bus stop. It just seems to be a place he's not getting as good of a run as you hope he would. It's that clean air. Loses about 2/10 there, although better than the last time around. Diaz trying to do what he can to hold on here, be his 2nd win of the season. Dakota Floyd still looking for win number 1. Let me tell you, I'm sure he'd be more than happy to try to make something happen to lock himself into the playoffs if he gets close enough to do so.
He's going to shave off another 0.4 of a second here this time by. We'll put those last lap times up on the left-hand side of your screen. That looks like almost 0.4 to me. Man, that's close. At this pace
really
here,
is.
Alex, he will be at the back bumper on the white flag.
Which, I mean, it will be really interesting to see because that means you need to continue to execute and close up that gap. It should be a lot of fun to see. I mean, that gap continues to shrink. It's about to be under a second. If he can make a run here, although Diaz really strong through the bus stop there. By the best time we've seen since watching this battle for the race win. That he's really gotten through there better than the 57. That gap hovering it right around a second right now. And it's all coming down to this.
Just under a second now. Wood seems to be tapering off just a little bit, less aggressive on the entries and exits. Looks like he changed up his line, not as good there out of 7. Diaz pulls away about a 10. Still a little slower last time by, though.
Kyle Diaz's one win so far this year came at Atlanta a few weeks ago. Trying to pair a restrictor plate win with potentially a road course win here. If he can hold on in these final 2.5 laps, it's looking really good so far as here comes a good battle for 8th on back. Rob Rader has a lot of company. Trevor Keith, Kevin Orlando Jr. hot on his heels is the 53. Mega loose coming out of 1. Gets all out of sorts on the curbing. Nearly lost it. Oh, and I think Orlando may have just Trevor Keith.
Yeah.
Oh, they're leaning on each other. Oh, big wreck. They're both in the wall. Oh, and they're going to take out Kyle Stewart with them. That is 10th, 11th, or 9th, 10th, and 11th. They continue to run. All three of them hit a wall, and here comes, I believe that's Michael Call who's going to get some of those positions back here maybe. As Kevin Orlando just blows through the bus stop.
Wow. We get that one back.
There's a lot to unpack there. Yeah, heavy contact with the 27, the 15, the 10 gets in it. And I think Kevin Orlando Jr. just rips it through the bus stop here. You're going to have to give that time back. 2 laps to go, the gap 0.6 of a second. Kyle Diaz over Dakota Floyd, the 57, about 4 car lengths away. They may be coming up on lap traffic there, but I just don't think they'll be reaching them in time for it to really make a difference. So it's really just going to be a duel of the 26 and the 57 going through the carousel for the penultimate time.
Last time it was another 0.3. Floyd needs about half a second here. Can he find it? White flag this time by for Kyle Diaz. On the strategy, on and off pit road, executed it perfectly. Here we go, one more time around, presented by Erhardt Homes. Love where you live. Kyle Diaz is going to come by.
Here they go into turn 1. That gap, probably about 2.5 car lengths there through turn 1. Lapped car giving way, letting the leaders do battle here. I'm sure they're both greatly appreciative of that. The gap 0.4 of a second and shrinking. Here through the S's, Dakota Floyd got a good run through 2, 3, and 4. Here they go into the bus stop. Big moment.
He's going to get to his bumper. A little mistake there from Floyd, but he's still going to make up that time in the carousel. He take it out wide.
He's right there coming through carousel. Be a big move into 6. What does he decide to do?
If the 26 can hold on for 2 more corners, Floyd can get to him on the inside here. He won't.
Oh,
Or he will. He will. They'll door bang across the line.
Off each other. Oh my
Unbelievable. Kyle Diaz is going to win. An unbelievable finish.
Racing Revolution road courses do not disappoint. Banger after banger after banger, and these guys were leaning on each other off the final corner. Flashbacks to the Chicago street course from a couple of weeks ago, and Kyle Diaz holds on for win number 2 of the year. Boy, I didn't think Dakota Floyd was going to get there, and then he did, and then the gloves were off.
That was, man. We got to go what? We got to go back one more time.
Yeah, we do. Holy, what a battle.
Here's the final lap.
The whole opportunity starts right here. The move in 7 starts through the S's. This is where the 57 got the advantage going into the bus stop. He had a really good run through here and was able to close up a ton of distance. And we had talked about how the 57 had been consistently just a little bit better in the bus stop than the 26. Gets right up to the back bumper here. But then it seemed like going through the carousel, Bradley, that the 26 was going to have it covered. I don't really know exactly what happened, but Floyd was able to get there going into 6. And then they were just bouncing off each other after that. This was awesome.
Through 6 and 7. Right here is where Floyd gets a really good exit. I thought maybe he could move him, but I didn't think Diaz would let him have that much room. And there it is.
What a finish, man. I think the difference there was just the 26 being able to take that full exit out of 7 versus the 57 who couldn't quite extend his corner exit all the way to the wall. And that was just enough, even through the contact, for Kyle Diaz to hold on. Well, I hope he takes the virtual pit crew out to dinner tonight after this. They served him up a beautiful situation on that green flag stop, and he was able to make it happen from there.
Now we need to find our post-race interviews and pull up the race winner. Alex Gagnon, have you caught up with our race winner, Kyle Diaz?
Hey there, Kyle. This is Alex and Bradley in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir, I do.
First driver not named Jeremy Burns to win on a road course in, I believe, 2 whole seasons. And boy, did you have to get it done in dramatic fashion here tonight. An absolute battle at the end there with Dakota Floyd. First of all, take us through those last couple laps and what it took to hold off the 57.
Oh my gosh, it took everything in me. I'm so beat right now. I'm dripping in sweat. I just want to give props to him for racing me clean at the end right there when he could have probably made a crazy move. So shout out to him. And I also want to apologize for Tyler earlier in the race for making a pretty aggressive move in the S's right there. So never feel good about making a mistake like that.
I tell you what, you had a war here tonight, and it seemed like the theme of the race tonight was cars, especially up at the front of the field, running into trouble, people getting into each other, getting into the wall, getting over the curbs and losing it. It seemed like it was a dangerous place to be tonight. And you were kind of working your way through the field while all of that was happening. Were you seeing some of the issues that the leaders were having, or were you just kind of head down doing your thing, and before you knew it, you were up front?
Well, I had a great restart because people had some unfortunate issues. Obviously, I restarted in 10th and was able to work myself up to like 6th or 5th immediately off the first or second lap. So that was a good start, and people just got to racing. And like you said, having misfortune, battling lap cars, whatever it may have been. And I was just able to put myself in position on the pit stop and take 2 tires and just barely hold off the 57 of Dakota Floyd. So just really happy with the race that I put on today, and just proud of my team and everybody else that puts in the work with me.
And Kyle, I guess I'll ask you now. Feels like a good time as any to celebrate win number 2 on the season. Anybody you'd like to shout out here this evening from Victory Lane?
Yeah, my mom and dad, of course. They're watching right now, I'm pretty sure. So shout out to them. It's pretty special to win. a road course with them watching, especially after Burns went on his reign of terror for the past 2 seasons. So feels good to be the person to finally come up and execute, I guess. And shout out to my team, of course. I couldn't have done it without all those guys with the practice that they helped me with. So just really proud to be in this situation.
Now, Kyle, congrats to you. Congrats on your second win of the year, adding a road course victory to that restrictor plate win you've already got. Exciting stuff, and should help you that much more when it comes playoff time with those extra playoff points. Congrats, and we will see you next week at
Richmond.
Richmond, yes, Richmond, Daytona. That's what remains. So we'll see you next week at Richmond. Should be a fun one.
Yes, sir. Hopefully I can contend there again next week. So have a good night, you guys.
All righty, you too.
Thank you.
That is race winner Kyle Diaz picking up his second victory of the season in dramatic fashion. And brother, I can't get over the fact that, you know, we've had, I think that was our 5th road course race of the season or 4th road course race of the season. And every single one of them has been absolutely stellar.
Yeah, I'm going through the Cup schedule right now and looking at we had Coda that we turned right at. We had, I believe, the Roval was the in the schedule there at some point during the All-Star, I think. So that was another good one. We had the Sonoma race, of course, there, and Chicago's street course, Watkins Glen adding to it. This is our 5th one, I believe. It's just a fantastic. We've been treated well, and like you said, throughout a lot of the series that we've watched, seasons even here at Racing Rev, the road course races have kind of been taking a nap there and wake up with 5 to go. Not the case this season. It has changed tremendously. It's such a contrast to last year.
Yeah, it really is, and I think everything in the league is better for it. There's been a healthy amount of competition all season long, especially on these road courses. It's put on some absolutely unbelievable racing.
Well, don't go anywhere. We have more post-race interviews with your top 3. We'll be talking to Dakota Floyd and Justin Ritchie, who got 2nd and 3rd place, and we'll get those final race results for you just before that. Don't go anywhere. You are watching the Chapman Environmental Services Cup Series presented by Racing Revolution and live on V-Speed. More coverage continues right after this.
So Chapman's been around for 32, almost 33 years. You know, it's a great company. We've built it from 10 people not all that long ago to 32 people today. We continue to grow. We're hiring people all the time. If there's one thing that I could do, like before my time is up at Chapman, it is making sure that we built a company that will stand the test of time. And my goal as the current owner of the company, or one of the owners of the company, is to ensure that we can pass the ownership of the organization on to the next generation of people coming up the ranks today. One area of our business where we impact the local communities pretty heavily is the school systems. So we work for school systems all over the northern part of the state of New Jersey. We operate their water systems, their wastewater systems. We do a lot of their permitting and compliance work, and we ensure that the water that the kids drink is clean. We go out and do the sampling to ensure that it's not contaminated. And we also treat the wastewater that's being generated at a lot of these facilities as well before it gets discharged to the environment. So we are supporting the local community through supporting the boards of education and the local school systems.
takes the victory, 128 laps without a pit stop.
Donnie Kite's gonna get through it all and score his first career win.
Saturday Night Racing League throwback at Charlotte goes to Josh Adams.
Welcome back, folks. Live on V-Speed, just wrapping up coverage of tonight's Chapman Cup Series race from Watkins Glen. And let me tell you, what an absolutely stellar race we got here tonight. A fantastic duel at the end between Kyle Diaz and Dakota Floyd, who we'll be talking to in just a moment. Race results coming up on your screen now. We only had the stage break, 4 lead changes, which ultimately ended up with the 26 taking home the win. Kyle Diaz from 10th, the first here tonight. Dakota Floyd, less than a 10th back, finishing second. Justin Ritchie will put it on the podium as well with the 3rd place finish. Tyler Harrison finishes 4th, just ahead of Justice Murphy. Dylan Picklesheimer will finish 6th here tonight. Carter Linz will finish 7th. Rob Rader up from 19th to 8th here this evening. Kevin Orlando Jr. 8th up to 9th. And Kyle Stewart will round out your top 10 with a 10th place finish.
Grant Thorpe will get 11th position. Trevor Keith, who led a lot of laps here today, was probably favored to win the thing when we started stage 2. He'll end up finishing in 12th. Michael Call will finish 13th. Trevor Erhardt, quiet day, top 15 all night, but will finish in 14th. Jacob Sirkovich in 15th. Jeremy Burns on the pole, turn 1, lap 1. Sideways, ends up falling into the back of this field. Gets caught up in almost everything here tonight, and he'll end up in 16th position. The reign of terror has ended for the 9. 39 of Grant Turner will finish in 17th. 18th will go to Travis Gilbert after a speeding penalty on pit road. Michael Bennett will get caught up in I believe that was the bus stop where he got turned around. He'll end up 19th, and Daniel Holloway 1 lap down. These cars 1 lap down or more with Christopher Schaefer, Alex Forget Berube in 22nd, Parker Johnston 23rd. Class act there for Parker Johnston. Appreciate him. 24th for Nick Alves, Michael Reed in 25th, and Caleb Gilbert rounding out your field. With that, though, it's time to take the rest of your post-race interviews, and the next driver we're going to talk to is Dakota Floyd in the number 57. And Dakota, man, you kept the streak alive of just one after another of road course banger after banger, I believe is that Alex Gagnon called it. The action there on the final lap. Take us through your mentality approaching, I think you had a top 5 car, no doubt, but then all of the chaos at the start of stage 2, all the way to the very end of this race, man. How does it unfold like that?
Like you said, I was a top 5 car, I think, at best. And my whole goal coming into this race was just to get good points and just maintain myself above the cut line. And man, even from the start of the race, when Burns got turned and it's just that flipped the race on its head, everything changed after that. And then at the start of the second stage, when we got to the bus stop and TK died and Carter Linz died about a corner after that, and then Travis Gilbert got checked up out of turn 6. I mean, at that point I saw red, so I was able to shoot it to the front and I was trying to maintain, and Kyle Diaz undercut me there and didn't take tires, and at that point it was just trying to play catch up, just trying to push the car without killing it, and last corner just didn't have enough, just didn't have it at the end.
Well, and the typical mistake here at V-Speed is that we watch the leaders too much, but we couldn't look away. It was a train wreck there at the start of stage 2. And so we take the camera off, we miss all that action. It flip-flopped 4 or 5 different times.
Yeah, I think every lap there was something happening. I mean, it's crazy how much of a brawl this race became. I wasn't really expecting that at Watkins Glen. I wasn't expecting the car to handle the way it was, so I mean, it was a good race overall. I hate to see those fast guys end up the way they did. It's just, I think that's just the nature of how tight Watkins Glen is on pace alone.
And then finally, Dakota, you were talking about that cutoff mark, and you're able to maintain that. I believe it's 11th in points. You might have even gained a spot. I can't remember exactly what the deficit was there for 10th, but you're looking pretty good here for 2 races left in the regular season. How are you feeling at Richmond when we go there?
I have a lot of confidence at Richmond. I think I'll at least pull another good finish there, and as long as we don't get a handful more winners, even if we do, I think I'll still be okay as long as I don't have absolutely terrible races for the rest of the regular season. So it's just going to be maintained, and we're gonna try to keep getting a win. It just seems we keep coming up short all these races, so we'll definitely give it our best.
Been a really much, I gotta admit it, I've admitted it on the broadcast a few times. You've much improved, and the racecraft and the way that you've handled chasing drivers down, being in the picture at the tail end when it matters most. Congratulations on another podium finish here, Dakota Floyd. Anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah, always got to shout the team first. I think we all had really, really strong pace tonight, and fortunately, Kyle had a unfortunate mishap there with Burns at the start of the race, and on pit road he missed his box a little bit, so it kind of put him on the back foot, but he still came out with the top 10. So full team top 10, 2 of us on the podium. I mean, can't ask for better than that for Orange Speed tonight. And shout out to the league for the most part. I mean, everybody I raced around tonight, it was clean. Nobody ran me dirty. I mean, door banging at the end. It was frustrating. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, it's coming to the start finish line. It's racing. You expect that kind of stuff to happen. But Kyle Diaz absolutely earned that one. He made the right strategy call, and he had the pace at the end. So more than congrats to him for an awesome race. And shout out to the admins for they're gonna have a long night, I'm sure, going back and look at this. So thanks to everything they do, and thank you guys at VSpeed for always putting on awesome broadcasts. Definitely can't wait to go back and watch this one. And thank you to all the sponsors that support Racing Revolution, and thanks to all the fans out there and everyone that supports me.
And I got to add to that there, Dakota. It's not very often I add to somebody shouting somebody out, but Parker Johnston moving over and letting you have even an opportunity getting out of that dirty air. I don't think you would have caught up there to Kyle Diaz had the 48 continued on those fresh tires in front of you.
Yeah, I definitely really appreciate him moving out of the way when he did. It definitely gave me that chance, and I really appreciate, especially I think every week the lap cars everyone's super respectful. So really appreciate everyone that regardless of the position they're in there, they've been super respectful to me this season. So definitely appreciate it.
Dakota Floyd, second place, led 14 laps, came up 0.09 of a second short, just under a 10th. We'll look forward to next week at Richmond. Until then, see you, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. Have a wonderful night.
And finally, we bring up your third place finisher, Justin Ritchie, in the number 55. The Cheetos machine gained 5 positions to get up here. Justin Ritchie, I got to say, you guys were on point. You capitalized when it mattered most, and the situation there, it changed dramatically. We were just talking to Dakota Floyd about how this race kind of fell on its face at the start of stage 2. But what was your take on it?
Yeah, that was crazy. Definitely didn't expect to be anywhere near the top 5, top 10 today. To the tire strategies, I think, played a part into the chaos that erupted there at the start of stage 2. But I was just determined to kind of play it safe. Always take 4 tires. Hopefully get it across the finish line one piece.
With your top 5 in points, you're locked in with a win. And now looking at 2 races left, you have Daytona and Richmond. Richmond, of course, up next. What do you feel is maybe a race that you could win out of those 2?
Well, I had historic luck at super speedways, so that's always an option. Richmond, I just want to survive. But yeah, I'm more excited about round 1. That's kind of where my focus has shifted to now, to try to advance as far as I can into the playoffs, and yeah, hopefully do some nice things there.
Well, we're going to eliminate it down to 16 drivers, and you are part of that now in the playoffs, locked in, a podium finish, looking good here at the tail end of the regular season, just before postseason. Justin Ritchie, anything else you have to add, shout out, whatever you want to say, the floor is yours.
Yeah, absolutely. So shout out to my mom. This is the first race that she's ever watched for us. So that's pretty cool to get a podium on that. Shout out to all my teammates, obviously, Dakota, Kyle, Morgan, all the Orange Speed guys. Shout out to Chapman Environmental for sponsoring. I forgot to shout them out last time, so I made sure to do it this time. Shout out to all the admins, everybody in the league. This is consistently the closest and the cleanest racing. So big shout out to everybody on that. And shout out to you guys in the booth for putting on an amazing broadcast. I can't wait to watch it tomorrow whenever I've got a little rest in me.
Right. Well, we look forward to adding you to the view count, and we look forward to seeing you next week at Richmond. And until then, buddy, we'll just stay tracking, right?
Yeah.
All right. Justin Ritchie, third place, started in 8th, gains 5 spots, adds another podium finish and another post-race interview to the repertoire. Well, Alex, we have more coverage coming up here. This is it for Watkins Glen, but we have more racing coming up. We're just getting out of these S's, and now we're going to shorten it up about 2 miles almost.
Yeah, just about. And something tells me, though, it might be just as physical of a race as we saw here today, which is maybe not what you'd expect of Watkins Glen, but certainly what you'd expect of a place that used to be known as the Action Track. Richmond is coming up next week, and I honestly think it'll be a fun challenge for these guys. It's not too often, I feel like, in iRacing in these leagues, you get to see a proper short track race, but I think we'll see that next week. These guys are usually really good about staying off each other as far as really making a mess of it, and I think we'll see some really, really hard, but really clean racing next week at Richmond.
Well, I don't think we'll see any Austin Dillon moves. We'll put it that way. But I would like to have a new winner. You know, it would be nice.
Certainly would be fun, but I hope it doesn't come at the expense of absolutely binning people coming off the turn 4.
You can catch that August 20th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Hope you guys have hit that subscribe button. It helps us out tremendously. We thank you very, very much. All of the faithful viewers that come in. Like Tia Silva, I believe I got that right. Debbie Smith, Shannon Drosselmeyer. Of course, as always, shout out to you, Terry Hudgens. Always doing a great job coming in here and being the best Burns fans that you can be. And Terry stirring the pot. So I got to appreciate everybody that comes in here and watches. Again, for Adam Baker, Alex Gagnon, this is Bradley Cooper saying so long from Watkins Glen. We'll see you next time. Stay tracking, everybody.